Hi, this is Brett Allen, and I just want to take a few minutes and show you a really cool way that you can foster trust with the new connections that you've created, right? Three objectives of social media marketing. We got to increase the size of our sphere. We want more people that have stepped into the outer fringe of what we call our sphere of influence. And once they get there, right, maybe they're new fans on our fan page, or they're following us on Twitter, or my favorite, they've subscribed to our website or blog. Well, once we get them in there, we don't just forget about them. We have to actually create a real connection with them. They're checking us out and they want to see, hey, are we the person to solve their problem? Well, one of the ways that we can do that and hit a whole bunch of people at the same time is through what I call the link and posting technique. Here's how it works. In the morning, you get up, you go to Google, and you say, all right, what's going on? So you're looking in your Google Reader at all of the different articles and all of the different channels that you subscribe to. And that's a whole nother topic. We won't get into that, but it's a great way to bring information in, get what's important, save yourself time so you know what's going on in your market. Well, you find an article that you're like, oh, this is actually something I think my peeps would want to know. And so what you do, let's see, I think I've got an example of one right here. You find an article. Here's the article. Google tweaks search engine ranking algorithm. This is one that showed up in Mashable. Mashable's a website that explains a lot about what's going on in technology. And I thought, man, this is a very interesting article because it really helps to solidify a point that I make, and that is that they are ever moving towards making new content more relevant and to rank better in search engines. And that's exactly what it says. It says they've undergone some upgrades, and what it is that things that are posted more when we post new things, they rank higher than the same kind of information that was posted before. So it makes it so important for us to have a blog that has constantly updated information that's targeted to solve the questions that our people might be searching on, right? So here's the actual article, and I look at this article and I think, wow, you know, realtors really need to know how important it is to be constantly creating new material for their blog posts and on Facebook. And so I look at this and I think, you know what, I better share this with them. So a couple ways I can do it. My favorite is I just go up here, I've added this add-on that allows me to share stuff to all these different things if I want me to email it to you, or anyways, there's Facebook on the top. So with my Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and share this link right on my page, and I can share it on my wall, or I can go down and I can select one of my pages and I can say, okay, you know what, I'll put this on my eComprehend page, or I can put it on any of my other pages based on what the content is. Well, for me, I'm actually just going to put it on my own wall because I'm a contrarian and I actually think you would rather be connected to me personally than have to just go through my business page. There's a small percentage of you that's like, Brett, I could care less about what's going on in your life. I just want your tips and tricks. And my fan page is really for that. But if you want to be connected with me and you want to get the real slice of Brett, then it's on my wall where I put 95% of my stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and share this link. And so when I share this link, it posts it onto my Facebook. And right then it gets sent through all of the channels into every single person that is following me, whether they're a friend or they're subscribing to my posts. And so if I refresh this, then what you're going to see on my fan page, on my profile page, is that, oh, and it looks like it did it twice. I might have clicked it twice. Let's go ahead and delete one of those. So here we have this article, and now you can quickly go and get that information, and you don't have to be subscribed to all this junk here, right? Isn't that cool? Well, what's even more important than that is what I just explained to you, and that is taking the time to explain what this means. We need to interpret things for our viewers. The truth is that they don't want to be as deep into our world as we are, right? We love real estate. We love these things. We want to know all about it, and we want to share that information. Well, we have to interpret things. So whether this is a post that you're making, a link to a post that might be about market data or about specific aspects of life as a realtor, the truth is they just want to know what affects them. I had this thing going on the other day. I actually was getting audited by the IRS, and my accountant that was doing it all for me, she was like explaining to me all this stuff, and I'm like, look, I don't know what you're talking about. All I want to know is that instead of me owing them a whole bunch of money like they're saying I should, I want that to be as small as possible. And she's like, oh yeah, this is great. In fact, when it's done, you'll get a refund. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what she does for me. She solves my problems. Well, you want to solve people's problems just like I want to solve your technology, social media problems. So instead of just sharing this, let's take the time to actually put something in here that's really helpful to them. Realtors, it's even more important than ever to make sure you're constantly creating new content on your sites. Google has changed how they rank things, and they value new postings over everything else. And so now when I share it this way, they don't even literally have to go read that article to know how it affects them. If they're interested in it, they can click and go there. And a lot of times you're going to want to write it in such a way that they will want to go there because you want them to have that firsthand knowledge of what's going on and not just your little, your little snippet. Well, there's a third level, right? You can post it, you can add an interpretation, but there's a third level that really fosters trust. And a lot of times we don't do this. We don't take the time to do that. And that is, instead of going ahead and creating this little interpretation and sending them to that link, what if we actually created our own blog post? We create a blog post, and in that post we summarize what's going on, and then we give 2 or 3 paragraphs that really outline what's going on here. Or we create a little video. There's an example of someone that did that. And we can go through that process right now, and I thought about doing that, but I'm already at 6 minutes, and you got to get on with your life, right? But we can go in, we can create a new post, we can add these things, and then what happens is when we share that link, it takes them to our blog. And when they're at our blog, then they're in our world, they're at our hub. And chances are they're going to check out a couple other things. And so we can use the link and post to be able to bring people into our world on a regular basis and to become, I would say, conditioned to look to us to solve their problems. So here's the example of the one that I found. And I love this site, and I just wanted to share this with you. They're doing this posting technique exactly perfect. I love these guys. It's called Tech Savvy Agent. So what he did is he did exactly this. He summarized what's going on, and he's talked about how they've made this change, and he makes a link, hopefully he's done it, to the original site. I always do that. You got to make sure you put the link to the original site. And then he created a little video that explains exactly what this means. So you can do it 2 or 3 paragraphs and bring them in to an understanding of how it relates to them. Or if you really want to get connected, go ahead and throw in the video that explains what those things mean. And once you do that, let me go ahead and share this one to my website or to my Facebook fan page. Now, I'm not this guy, so I wouldn't normally say this, but if it were my blog on my website, which is what you want to do, then I would say, I could put that same information and then say, I made a little video that explains how important this is. Check it out by clicking link below. Now obviously that's probably a given, but so I'll go ahead and share this link now. Now, I'm not Steve, right? Steve, if you ever watch this, dude, you're a rock star. You are a person to follow. And this technique will allow you to bring people to your world so much more effectively than if you just create this simple share of the article. So let's go ahead and update this and see how it looks here. So now, as this information just happens to be going out there to different places, and whether you're subscribed to me on Facebook or you're an actual friend, when you see this, you can read this and say, oh, I get it. There's this important information. Oh, and there's even more information on it. I want to click this and then go there. And now they're coming to your blog. And the chances are that when they're there, they might subscribe to your blog if they haven't already. They might actually go down and see, hey, you know what, this guy's got a fan page. They might go down and see that there's other articles too. Other articles, there's some comments here. Come on guys, let's make our other articles a little bit easier to see. So normally, like me, I like to put on the side in this section here, I like to put, the other articles that I've recently written, because there's a good chance that they're going to click those too. Before long, just like you get lost in Costco, they got lost on your blog, but they leave with greater credibility in their mind about who you are. And I love it. So I've just surpassed my 10 minutes, and I try to keep these under 10 minutes because you got a life. So go ahead and practice this technique in all 3 levels, well, hopefully at least level 2 and level 3, and then let me know how it works out for you. So in the comments below, give me some of your feedback. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate the time you give me to help you move forward in this realm.